Yeah, we back. We back. Now, back again, man. We got to talk about it. Apparently, Dr. Umar Johnson is also under fire due to what he said about Eminem in his recent interview with Joe Budden. And we got to talk about it, man. As always, I'm going to take the conversation in a different direction. Now, to refresh your memory, I'm going to play a clip from Dr. Umar Johnson responding on Instagram to the criticism and the backlash that he received due to the fact that he said Eminem cannot be the best rapper of all time because he's not a black man. Now, run the footage.
The business of protecting the sacredness, authenticity, and integrity of African culture. I said that no non-African can ever be the best of anything in African culture. You can't be the best cook of African food. You can't be the best rapper of African hip hop. You can't be the best singer. You can't be the best priest of African culture. Nothing we create can a non-African be the best at. First of all, cheerleader, the fact that you got black people arguing for a white man to be considered the greatest of all time in an African art form speaks to how psychologically ill we are as a race of people. After all we have been through in this country, you got black men running around playing defense attorney for white folks.
All right, we back. Now, first things first, if you've been following my channel, then you already know how I feel about certain things. Not only do I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson's statement because, let's be honest, it's just certain things only a black man could do it to its highest level. I'm sorry. When you go across the world, who are the most popular musicians? Who are the most popular songwriters and performers? Black men and women. And even sometimes when it's a black woman, it's probably a black man behind the scenes writing all the goddamn music. So I'm sorry, bro. It just is what it is, man. I mean, I'm not going to debate about it. The greatest composers, songwriters, lyricists, producers, arrangers, bruh, I'm sorry. It's probably going to be a black man, behind the scenes somewhere. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to take the conversation in a different direction. Dr. Umar Johnson also in his Joe Budden interview, he mentioned something very important. He mentioned infrastructure. He mentioned that black men need to create infrastructure to own and control everything we establish. Dr. Umar Johnson mentioned that black men need to put ourselves in a position of power to provide for our community. So I'm going to take him on his word and I'm not going to disagree with him, but I'm going to tell him, look at it from this lens too. You're not looking at the whole picture or the whole scenario. Look at it from this lens too. Now, back to Eminem. Okay, one of the highest selling music artists of all time. Can't take anything away from that. Numbers don't lie, whatever, right? But Dr. Umar Johnson, who was Eminem signed to this whole time for his whole career? Who was he signed to? He was signed to a black man from California named Andre Young, aka Dr. Dre. Yes, indeed. So Eminem's boss was a black man. Eminem's superior was a black man. Eminem's chief executive officer was a black man. Eminem's manager was a black man. Eminem's leader, administrator, overseer was a black man. So, we have to really look at the totality of the whole discussion, right? Now, I agree with you. Only a black man can hold that title of the greatest rapper of all time. I'm with you. But you got to understand, it was black men getting rich off Eminem. Listen, that was a little homie. Eminem, he's the greatest to them white folks, but to us, that's the little homie. You know what I'm saying? That's one of our workers. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't nothing special to us, really. Like in the black community, you're not gonna really see so many black men having Eminem as the number one. It's not gonna be that. It's not. You don't have some dudes saying that, but the vast majority of black men across the world, nah, Eminem is not in our top five. Nas gonna be in the top five. Jay-Z gonna be in the top five. Some folks might put 50 Cent in the top five. Some people might put Lil Wayne in the top five. But Eminem is not going to be on most black men's top five. It's not. It's not. So don't throw black men under the bus for that. Because I guarantee the majority of the people defending Eminem's GOAT status, quote unquote, is probably some white folks. Probably some Indians. Probably some Asians. Probably some, some Czechoslovakians. Probably some people from Ireland. People from, Italy. Random folks that ain't black. Those are the people that that look at Eminem as the number one because they relate to him. He's a reflection of their image. That's why you have people who open a business to sell to a certain demographic, but they place somebody from that community as the face or the head of that business to attract the clientele from that community. It's the same thing. So Dr. Dre put a white face on the business, on the Eminem brand, and that's why you have so many fans from around the world. He sold so many records, hundreds of millions of records, because he has that, crossover appeal to the white folks, to the white demographic. The majority of people in America are white. So that's also why he made a whole bunch of money, sold a whole gang of records, because Eminem has people who are his fans that are not rap fans. For example, Eminem has fans that listen to Eminem, but they don't listen to rap. So Dr. Dre, as the CEO, was able to tap into that market of people who don't really listen to rap, but they will buy Eminem's album. So you have to understand, it was black men getting rich off Eminem. Now, listen, brothers, take a step back for a second though, because when Dr. Umar Johnson be talking about that Snow Bunny shit, I be giving him pushback because he never keeps the same energy across the board. But regardless of that fact, I can't disagree with him. I can't debate about it, bro. I can't debate about it, because regardless of everything I said, yes, Eminem was signed to a black man. Yes, the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, the Eminem Show, the Encore album, the Relapse album, the Recovery album, the Marshall Mathers LP 2 that came out in 2013, the Revival album, the Kamikaze album, the latest album back in 2020. Yes, he was signed to a black man for that whole duration of time. And not only was Dr. Dre the CEO of the label, but he was also the producer. He was also the executive producer. He had way more hands in the pot, so he was touching profit on all different levels. And keep in mind, Dr. Dre signed Eminem back when albums were still selling, when you had to go to the store and pay that $10, pay that $15 to get your hands on a physical CD, back when selling music was like selling drugs. So if you want to calculate the amount of albums sold while Eminem was signed to Dr. Dre, it would have to be at least at the very minimum, 125 million albums sold. At the minimum. We're not even talking about nothing else. We're not talking about the singles. We're not talking about the touring merchandise. We're not talking about the licensing, the synchronization, the fucking royalties from the production credits. We're not talking about nothing. So listen, just from his cut, right? Because let's say Dr. Dre took 20% of the profits made from those albums, right? Because that would be close to $2 billion in profit. So let's just say he took just a fraction of that. He's still walking away with at least close to $400 million. And that's before you count in the production credits as the producer, the executive producer, the royalties that come from that. So Dr. Dre made at least $500 million off Eminem. A black man did that. So we got to look at the whole totality of the argument, the whole picture. Okay, yes, I agree with you. Eminem cannot be the GOAT, but you got to remember, it was a black man that brought Eminem to the forefront. It was a black man that brought Eminem to the limelight, to the stage. Now, we got to go back to that Snow Bunny shit that Dr. Umar Johnson be talking about. Regardless of everything I said, Dr. Dre, excellent businessman, excellent producer, musical genius. But in this regard, when you talking about that Snow Bunny shit, Dr. Umar Johnson is 100% right. Because after everything was said and done, Dr. Dre got taken to the cleaners, man. His wife took him to the cleaners, bruh. Take a look up on the screen. Y'all remember that story a couple years back? Dr. Dre's ex-wife scores a massive divorce settlement. Nicole Young will walk away from the 24-year marriage with more than one fifth of the rap icon's fortune and roughly half of all his liquid assets. Brother, in this regard, listen, this is a slam dunk for Dr. Umar Johnson. This is a slam dunk. I'll be goddamn. This will never happen to me, bro. I'll never let an outside group get the jump on me like this. Ever. Never, nigga, never. I already told y'all what I would do if I was ever put in this situation. I already told y'all what I would do in past videos. I would never, ever. And keep in mind, Dr. Dre was close to $1 billion around this time. I think he was around between 800 million or $1 billion in terms of net worth and assets. And she took 1/5 of that and half of everything liquid. Brother, robbery. Do you understand that Dr. Dre is probably the first black man in his lineage for centuries to ever touch that type of money? And then he lost that much of it in one fell swoop? Brother, y'all boys gotta, man. Come on, man. Y'all, nah, man. We gotta at least try to keep the money circulating inside the community, brothers. I mean, shit. Damn. But Dr. Umar Johnson, I'ma stay on your head. You gotta keep the same energy all the way across the board, brother. Keep the same fire and passion all the way across the board. But anyways, man, I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson. Ain't no way nobody who's not a black man gonna say that he's the best rapper. I mean, come on, brother. Ain't nobody going home talking about throw that Eminem on the stereo. Ain't nobody listening to Eminem in their free time. Okay, maybe you listen to Eminem in your free time when you by yourself. But when a beautiful woman comes over, when you hanging out with the fellas, when you at a party, when you in the car, ain't nobody talking about, at least not a black man anyway, at least not the black community, ain't nobody talking about, man, throw on some Eminem, brother. We not doing that. We gonna say, man, throw on some Hove, throw on some Nas, You know what I'm saying? We throw on some DMX, throw on some OG Unit. You know, those are our GOATs, our legends. But we not saying, man, throw on some Eminem, man, throw on that Marshall Mathers. Yeah, throw on that Slim Shady LP from 1999. Ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody in the black community saying that. We not trying to hear none of that. But we ain't with that shit. Fly niggas is not listening to no goddamn Eminem. We not listening to no goddamn In the Labyrinth of My Mind. I find the rhyme so divine, like a sign intertwined with words so grand and profusely fine. I'm the master of the lexicon, linguistic swine. We're not doing that, brother. We're just not doing that. But regardless of that fact, I can still take a step back and understand that Eminem being marketed as the greatest of all time was because that was just him selling his brand to the people, right? So his fans believe that he's the greatest of all time, but a lot of his fans don't even listen to rap music all the way. Like, he got a lot of fans, like I said, they only listen to Eminem, but they don't listen to rap in totality. He was able to cross over into different demographics of people. And at the end of the day, he was signed to a black man, and a black man got rich off that. But unfortunately, that black man married a white woman, and she took 1/5 of the goddamn fortune. Unfortunately, man, unfortunately. You know, goddamn, Dr. Dre, goddamn. But anyways, man, it's your boy Never Carter Salim back in the building. Yes, indeed. Cash App up on the screen, and I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Paying for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.